I remember I was packing my suitcase for a trip. I made sure I packed everything. I double-checked and felt confident that I've got it all. I was excited, but a bit nervous. And then I got to my destination, and it hit me. I have committed, and I can't go back home now. 2 years ago, I made one of the biggest decisions of my life. I left my home in India to pursue my master's degree in Canada. Where I come from, it's very common to live with your parents, even as an adult. We celebrate the beauty of intergenerational closeness. So moving out is a radical shift. And I wasn't ready for all the emotional turmoil that comes with it. 3 days after I arrived in Canada, I remember I was unpacking my suitcase, feeling completely numb. In that moment, I had no one around me, no familiar faces, and all my friends, they were all back in India, in a completely different time zone. I had been really excited for this big change of my life, so it was difficult for me to understand what was happening. The journey to get here had taken me more than 2 years, navigating through my favorite thing, paperwork. I had convinced myself that once I got here, that everything would fall into place, and I'll find all the missing pieces of the puzzle of my life. And this wasn't the first time I felt lost. I remember the same feeling catching me off guard when I graduated university and started looking for a job. I remember feeling so uncertain about the next steps. Whenever I have moved, it was my first time exploring a new culture, meeting new people, or even adapting to a different climate. Like in Canada, I quickly learned that it's only a little chilly when the temperature drops below zero. When I left home, the world started to feel a lot bigger. And I knew I had to do something about it so that I wouldn't feel alone. I remember one of my friends, who is also an immigrant here, once told me that she's really scared of getting sick here because she has no one here to take care of her. And I was living in some kind of duality. Like, I was facing challenges, but I wasn't ready to share them with my family or friends because I did not want it to worry them. So I carried all the burden alone. And there were other issues, like I really had to pay attention to other people's accents, just like all of you are paying attention to mine right now. Yeah, my brain was constantly translating languages. I officially became a human calculator, constantly converting the price of Canadian dollar to Indian rupee before buying anything. Like this coffee and donut, they're gonna cost me $12? That's like 700 rupees in Indian currency. If my mom gets to know that I'm spending 700 rupees on a coffee, she'll kill me. So yeah, I'm a maths genius now, without even trying. Ask any immigrant, and they'll tell you that it takes years to shake this habit. I moved across the world, all in the hope of finding the missing piece of the puzzle of my life. Yet, here I was. That's when the penny dropped. I can't spend my life feeling like this. This needs to change, and it was up to me to do something about it. I remember I would have some free time in the evenings, so I found these stand-up comedy open mics nearby, and I just decided to try them out. I was scared, but then I thought to myself that if I can survive homesickness, the crazy schedule of a part-time job, and my coursework, I can definitely survive anything. So I started going. And then I just kept going. In some time, I became friends with other comedians there. And then I myself became a stand-up comedian. I now still go on stage at least 2 to 3 times every week. I remember whenever I would sit down and I would start thinking about my life, big plans and goals, it would overwhelm me so much. I had a burning desire to build a career for myself of my choice, but everything looked so far away. So what I did, I broke down all my life big goals into smaller, manageable steps. For instance, when I started looking for a job, rather than stressing, I started taking one day at a time. I took little steps. It took some time, but I was able to find an internship, which got converted into a job. And now I have a career in communications, the field I had been training for. As I was finding my way here, I couldn't help but to think back to the time when I did an internship with Disney. When I was 20, few of my friends and I got an opportunity to intern with Walt Disney World. We packed our suitcases and got super excited that we're going to go to Florida and have the time of our lives. And then we got there. Disney day 2, and we had nothing to do. All of us were looking at each other's faces, thinking, is this what we got excited for? But on day 4, we finally had our orientation. After that, all of us got busy and settled into a routine. And for the next 3 months, we ended up having the time of our lives. And now, when I look back, I see that there are these key ideas which really helped me a lot in Disney and here. They're simple, yet powerful. I like to think of them as 3 C's that anyone can apply anywhere. First C is community. When I started doing stand-up comedy, I ended up becoming a part of a community that was working on a particular skill. And that really helped me. And I know some of you might be thinking right now, how can I build a community around a particular skill? I don't even know what I'm good at. See, the idea is not to be good at something. The idea is to connect with people who are interested in the same things as you are. And that will make any process a lot easier. The second C is consistency. Pursuing small goals consistently is a game changer. Divide a big project into smaller, manageable steps. When I started looking for a job, initially I was only able to find an internship. But with consistent effort, that helped me get a job. Whenever I pursue anything consistently, the small efforts slowly start to add up, and then they become an accomplishment. The third C is compassion. Be kind to yourself. Leaving home is one of the bravest things I have ever done in my life. Sometimes it felt like that I was going through all of it alone and feeling so much. I was not. I had to remind myself that all of this is a process and it is okay to not have everything figured out. And I did not beat myself up over it. I gave myself space to breathe, and slowly the puzzle pieces started falling into place. I treated myself the same way I would treat a friend who was trying to figure things out. And next time, when I'll be packing my suitcase, I'll make sure that I pack a lot of self-compassion in it. Home. Home is where you make it. And I made myself feel at home with the help of community, some consistency, and a lot of self-compassion. Community, consistency, compassion. Whether you're moving from India to Canada or even moving within your own same city, in the end, it is all about making yourself feel at home. Thank you.